This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there. What's going on, good people? We back up in here. We back up in the place. I got a clip from last night's show that I really think is kind of interesting. So I'm going to start with that. And lots of people ask me, hey, did you see this? I had not seen it until I pulled it up. And I'm like, yes, I have seen this. This is crazy. So I think it lends itself to part of the discussion that we've been having about I'm going to play it and I'm going to tell you what I think this clip is telling us. So shout out to everybody. Candace talked about Erika Kirk yesterday. I want to talk about this clip. So real quick, let's bring it in.
To address this, so many people have been writing into us, sending us emails, people that are paying in super chats, asking me to address Erika Kirk. And I guess my question back would be, what is there for me to address? She hasn't sat down for a long interview. All we have seen from Erika has been the speech at the memorial event for Charlie Kirk. I see the innuendo that is online. I am interested in investigating who killed Charlie Kirk. And the people that I have been reserving my ire for, my smoke for, my investigation for are the people that are blatantly lying. Okay, people that are just lying about Charlie Kirk. That was my reason for going after Alex Clark. She lied about the Catholic thing. That was my reason for going after Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy. Anybody that's told a lie, Rob McCoy, blood all over him, you got my attention. What lie has Erika told that I'm supposed to be focused on? Okay, like, has she said something about, did she come out and say, Charlie never had an issue with Israel in the end? He loved Israel to his dying breath. She hasn't done that. She simply hasn't done that. What we have around the corner is a big interview that's going to be dropping this week. Erika Kirk sat down with Jesse Waters, and I can tell you, Charlie loved Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters gave us the most playtime on Fox News back in the beginning. That was the big show that we got to book. And so it's a good fit. It's a fitting program for her to go on to. If she was sitting down with like Bibi Netanyahu's entourage, I might have something to say. But everything that she has done she's been having conversations with people who were actually friends with Charlie. Erika is also, I think, slated to join Megyn Kelly on tour. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I saw that being teased. Charlie opened up to Megyn in the end. Megyn stood 10 toes down on telling the truth, which is why I deeply respect her for doing this, about the pressure that Charlie was under. And it was not easy for Megyn to do that, okay? She is still catching heat for the fact that she did that. So I feel like Erika is kind of sending a message here that she's not standing against the people that are telling the truth. I said early on, if Erika Kirk asks me to be quiet, I will be quiet. She didn't ask me to be quiet. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. A show on whether I like her hair, her outfits, that doesn't feel right. And also keep in mind, that is the mother of Charlie Kirk's children. I had a real relationship with Charlie Kirk, a real friendship with Charlie Kirk. And what is left of him in this world are his two small children. So to just take a baseless attack, if I catch her in a lie, it's a little different, but to just take an attack on her does not feel appropriate to me. I haven't seen any reason to do that.
I wanted to play that all the way out, and I'm going to start it over again. And I'm going to just pull out a couple of things, little nuggets that have kind of jumped out at me watching this. And I just want to see, did you pick it up? So let's just start again.
Okay, so I want to address this. So many people have been writing into us, sending us emails, people that are paying in super chats, asking me to address Erika Kirk. And I guess my question back would be, what is there for me to address? She has.
So the first thing is, what is there for me to address? Which is a very odd question, given the fact that Erika Kirk is the face of TPUSA. So when you say that you're going to war with TPUSA, who do you think? You don't think that's going to affect Erika? When you say that his right hand, his second hand, his third hand man are all lying, you don't think that affects Erika too? Do you not believe that? Or it just seems odd. But then even more than that, why didn't you just call out saying, hey, that's not appropriate? And you said it's not appropriate, but why did you say, hey, stop? Because you're the one that's doing it. I guarantee you after Jesse Waters' interview, it's going to be World War we're on.
Hasn't sat down for a long interview. All we have seen from Erika has been the speech at the memorial event for Charlie.
I think this is also odd here. She's just disregarding that Erika Kirk sat and did an interview on Charlie Kirk's show. And that was before the interview. She also ignores that Erika Kirk spoke about Charlie Kirk's assassination like 2 or 3 days after that. And she also just ignores that she was just at TPUSA just this past week. It just seemed like she only wants to talk about certain aspect of it and not the wholeness of it. Or maybe she just didn't know about it. I don't know. That just seems odd to me. What do you think? Comment down below.
Kirk, I see the innuendo that is online. I am interested in investigating who killed Charlie Kirk. And the people that I have been reserving my ire for, my smoke for, my investigation for are the people that are blatantly lying. Okay, people.
So here we go. Now this is where Candace, this is where the main character syndrome really steps in and shines. She's really letting her hair down, that this is all about her, my ire, my smoke, my investigation. Man, you do realize that nothing's going to happen no matter what you come up with, right? You do realize that, right? Like, you don't actually have an investigation. You don't actually lead anything. You're just doing this. And at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, nothing will happen. Just like nothing happened with the Macrons. By the way, got some updates on that. Just like nothing happened on any of your other quote unquote investigations. Nothing. So it just seems like she's deliberately putting herself in this position where she can sound like she's important. She can say things that come across as tangible, but really at the end of the day, they're just smoke and mirrors. Finish up.
That are just lying about Charlie Kirk. That was my reason for going after Alex Clark. She lied about the Catholic thing. That was my.
What was the Catholic thing that she lied about? Because it's funny, these people will say, hey, I worked with Charlie Kirk and I know XYZ ABC. She says, I used to work with Charlie Kirk and 1, 2, 3 ABC. We have no relevant point to believe what you're talking about, Candace. You've shown us nothing. And I'm going to give you my whole plot twist, why I think this is very important, what she's saying about Erika Kirk. Let's go.
Reason for going after Andrew Colvett, Mikey McCoy, anybody that's told a lie, Rob McCoy, blood all over him, you got my attention. What lie has Erika told that I'm supposed to be focused on? Okay, like, has she said something about, did she come out and say, Charlie never had an issue with Israel in the end? He loved Israel to his dying breath. She hasn't done that. She simply hasn't done that. What we have around.
Has anybody, I mean, some of the people she's called out, have they said that? Have they said anything that sounds as nasty and snarky as what you just said? Just wondering.
On the corner is a big interview that's going to be dropping this week. Erika Kirk sat down with Jesse Waters, and I can tell you, Charlie loved Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters gave us the most playtime on Fox News back in the beginning. That was the big show that we got to book. And so it's a good.
It's very interesting that it's we. Did you see that jumped in? Now it's we. She wants to position herself, and you would, if you didn't know the story, you would quickly get sucked into the maelstrom of thinking that she actually worked at TPUSA. Remember, she's worked at 2 other places since she left TPUSA, and I want to talk about why I think she left in a moment.
Fit. It's a fitting program for her to go on to. If she was sitting down with like Bibi Netanyahu's entourage, I might have something to say. But everything that she has done has been, she's been having conversations with people who were actually friends with Charlie. Erika is also, I think, slated to join Megyn Kelly on tour. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I saw that being teased. Charlie opened up to Megyn in the end. Megyn stood 10 toes down on telling the truth, which is why I deeply respect her for doing this, about the pressure that Charlie was under. And it was not easy for Megyn to do that, okay? She is still catching heat for the fact that she did that. So I feel like Erika is kind of sending a message here that she's not standing against the people that are telling the truth. I said early on, if Erika...
Okay, guys, stop right here. Remember, Erika is a part of the investigation. She works for TPUSA. The likelihood is that she's under the gag order. Erika hasn't said a thing. And by trying to frame it as if Erika is tacitly giving you the thumbs up or tacitly saying, hey, okay, keep it up, Candace, because she ultimately can't say anything to you in that regard, or they choose not to say anything to you, there is another option. They don't want to mess with you because they think you're crazy. I mean, that could be an option. You know what I'm saying? But to tacitly try to paint this picture like, oh, the reason she's not saying anything is because she is in agreement with me. No, ma'am, not even a little bit. There's no reason to believe that. But let me also point out that I think she's trying to get her audience to look at whatever Erika says tomorrow on Jesse Waters, and we'll watch it as do a watch party on that. Whatever she says to Jesse Waters, as she's trying to frame it and tell you she's interpreting it already. She's telling you ahead of time, this is what she's going to say. So interpret it in this way. Does that make sense? Okay, finish up, Jason.
Kirk asks me to be quiet. I will be quiet. She didn't ask me to be quiet. So I don't know what
The fact that she still had to tell you to be quiet is nasty work, Candace. The fact that a grieving widow would have to tell you to stop making a complete and utter fool of yourself and shredding her husband's legacy, like somebody actually, an adult, had to tell you that, is kind of crazy work. So she said, well, she didn't tell me to stop, so therefore she must want me to continue. Now tell me that makes sense. Only makes sense to a narcissist. It only makes sense to somebody who's not being honest. And Candace I don't believe is being honest. Watch this. Let's finish up.
I'm supposed to do a show on whether I like her hair, her outfits. That doesn't feel right. And also keep in mind that is the mother of Charlie Kirk's children. I had a real relationship.
This is the part where I really think she's letting you know that she does not have that she has not talked to Erika Kirk. I want you to listen to what she says about the children. Listen to it again. And let me back up just a little bit. Listen to what she says.
That is the mother of Charlie Kirk's children. I had a real relationship with Charlie Kirk, a real friendship with Charlie Kirk. And what is left of him in this world are his two small children. So to just take a baseless attack, if I catch her in a lie, it's a little different. But to just take an attack on her does not feel appropriate to me. I haven't.
So instead of saying, hey, I have a relationship with Erika Kirk, she didn't say that. She didn't say, hey, Erika Kirk and I talk. When we got off the phone, she did not say, stop bashing my husband's legacy. She didn't say anything of that nature. She just says, hey, this is the mother of his children, and only remainder of Charlie Kirk is his children. That's all she said. That means basically you don't have a relationship with Erika, in my opinion. Now, let me know, am I reading too much into that? But it doesn't sound rather like she has a relationship with Erika Kirk. So she probably hasn't talked to Erika to answer your question. She probably hasn't had communication with Erika. But then again, I don't think Erika probably would want to talk to her. Now, I want to finish this up because this is the last sentence.
Seen any reason to do that.
Okay, so that's the end of it right there. Here's my theory. Here's my tinfoil hat. So please go ahead and grab your tinfoil hats. Make sure that they're tight on your head. This is what I think happened. Because notice in the chat real quick, Candace's text messages and evidence of relationship with Charlie Kirk. How old are they? How old are they? How old are they usually? Most of the text messages that she's shown are of what age? About what age? There we go. 7 to 8, 6 years. Absolutely. Does anybody know how long Charlie Kirk has been married to Erika Kirk? Right around the same time. What I think happened, and by the way, that was also around the same time that she got yeeted out of Turning Point USA, which is kind of interesting, especially if you're a Candy. Oh, by the way, please, Candies, make sure you make yourself up. Get up here to the front of the church. Come on up here, Candies. It's interesting. She never talks about how she ended up leaving Turning Point USA. Remember, Charlie Kirk was her friend, her best friend. They're road dogs and all the kind of stuff like that. I'm going to still stand on it. I'm expecting her to come out of her mouth and say they had an extramarital affair. I do expect that. That's the next level of tearing down his legacy. If it doesn't happen, it don't happen. And I'll just have egg on my face. When it happens, y'all can say, Jason said it. I've said this 2 weeks ago. That's what I expect her to do. But let me go back to it. Her and Charlie Kirk were thick as thieves, right? All of a sudden, out of the blue, she doesn't work there anymore. She now works at PragerU. She even said she had to be rescued by PragerU. So it sounded like she got kicked out of there with no parachute, no advance warning, no 2-week notice or anything of that nature. Get your box. No, they just walked her out the door. Why would they have done that? What I think happened is Charlie Kirk realized this is my tinfoil hat, so please put it on safe and lock it in. I think Charlie Kirk saw this woman is not a Christian. She's a new ager. She's She's not a Christian. She presented herself. She presented herself with Christianese and Christian language that made her sound like she was, but she's not. And maybe even has gone as far to realize that she wasn't a conservative either. And I believe her and Charlie Kirk had a butting of heads, but Charlie was never going to put her on loud. He was never going to put her on blast. He was never going to say, hey, or get on a platform and say this about that and this and the other about how we broke up, Candace and I. He wasn't going to do that. So Candace was always sitting there stewing in the fact that he yeeted her out. He threw her out of Turning Point USA. And it clearly became clear once she left, Turning Point USA went gangbusters in another direction and excelled. So now she's been sitting there stewing in that, mad, angry, upset, vindictive even. Now, fast forward, Charlie Kirk is no longer on the scene. That's why she was the first one to come out and talk about all the good that Charlie Kirk and her had, all this relationship. We talked all the time and this, that, and the other. She doesn't have any evidence to that fact because I don't think it's really true. I believe I believe Erika Kirk probably was the one to say, hey, babe, Candace is not a Christian. And maybe that relationship, Charlie Kirk's relationship with his wife, caused a rift between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. So Candace has always had it out for Erika. That's why they don't ever talk about being together. Sure, somebody's going to say he saw Candace at Charlie's wedding or Charlie at Candace's wedding. Okay, that's fine. And I've gone to weddings with people I don't like either. And the food was pretty good, so give them a gift. I got you. But can you show me the evidence that they were actually in a relationship outside of that wedding? Show me them going on vacation. Show me them going on trips together as a family. Show me them getting together with all their families around Christmas tree or something of that nature. You won't find it because it doesn't exist. I don't think Erika liked Candace. And I think Charlie realized, you know what? My wife is not down with her. You got to go. And once he realized, his wife didn't realize it. And then also add to the complexity, this woman's a new ager. She's talking about praying to the universe and burning sage and all this kind of stuff like that. He realized this is not a Christian. And they yeeted her out. That's why she never talks about how she ended up leaving Turning Point or what was the circumstances. I think that would be a much bigger issue. I would want to know way more about why you got kicked out of Turning Point or left, why you left Turning Point, than to know about an Egyptian plane tracking Charlie Kirk. You spending 30 minutes talking about an Egyptian plane and spending 30 seconds telling me that you got kicked out of Turning Point. I think that relationship at Turning Point might be way more interesting, way more popcorn selling than something about an Egyptian plane or Polish bee underground communist communities or tacitly blaming the Mormons, whatever, fill in the blank. But what I think happened is I think Charlie Kirk, through the wisdom of his wife, realized that this woman is not who she says she is. She's duplicitous. She's a chameleon. She'll say one thing and do something completely different. She'll be somebody different and will play the part in order to gain and garner support, gain and garner your trust, and then she'll go on and move in the next direction. And we see that with how she moved with Dennis Prager, how she moved with Daily Wire, and how she's moving now. So am I to believe that she moved completely different at TPUSA than she did at PragerU, at Daily Wire, and how she's doing now? This is just a night and day difference, right? Just night and day? This is how she is. And it's very possible that's why she wasn't at TPUSA and why she won't talk about why she wasn't at TPUSA. Let her tell the story. She make it sound like she was still there last Tuesday, but she's not. She wasn't. Make it sound like, well, where's your evidence that you had all this great blooming relationship with a married man, by the way, and you yourself are a married woman, but that's okay. Well, we'll just pretend like that doesn't matter. Well, show me the evidence of that. Oh, you show me a text message from when you show me a text message from 7 years ago. Man, it's almost a decade. We was using typewriters. Man, please stop this. There's a word processor. Quit it. Where is the evidence that you were in communication with him last week? Because everything that she's shown us that's new is somebody else sending you a text message, sending you a screenshot, sending you an email that you weren't a part of, and they probably shouldn't have been sharing. But where's your actual evidence that she said all the time, Charlie emailed me or text message me all the time. Well, show it. Show it. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.